Hey everyone. Today I kind of wanted to talk to you a little bit about what I talked to you about yesterday. Well, for me it's still today because I'm recording this video on the same day, but for you guys it'll be tomorrow. Um, and that is committing to something. Now, I get a lot of people messaging me on Quora, and that I message because I want to help out a little bit extra. I get a lot of, but I do get a lot of requests, a lot of comments, a lot of people asking me, how do you really make your life different? And every one of my clients, I work through the same process with them, a little bit more specific, obviously, but the same general idea, and that is you pick one thing, just a single thing. You don't have to do everything all at once. That's not the point. You'll likely fail if you're not used to it. You have to build up to something. So you pick one thing and you work on that. Now, most of you that are watching this YouTube channel and these videos likely know me from Quora, so if you don't, there's always links in the description to check me out there. I do write a lot there, but for the people that have read some of my stuff on Quora, um, there's a lot of input there. There's a lot of tips. A lot of tips. I think I'm reaching close to 4,000 answers at the point of recording this video. That's a lot of content. You're not going to get through all of that and implement every single piece and work through all of it in a week. This is just not going to happen. And that's not the point. The point is not to relentlessly work, like add as much as you possibly can to your schedule if you can't keep it up. The point is that you pick one thing and you commit to that one thing. You do it every day, no matter what. That's how you reach success. Now, if you really want to go out of your way, then you don't add a couple more things, you just pick one really important thing. That is, if you want to make more money, you start maybe reading about how to increase your income. And you read for an hour or 2 hours every single day. If you want to do better at your job, you pick a skill and you develop that skill. You read on your free time, you work on it as much as you can, but that is the one thing that you're committing yourself to every single day. I don't care if it's a Saturday, I don't care if it's a Sunday, I don't care if it's a holiday, I don't care if it's your birthday. You do it every single day. Make time for it. That's how you eventually reach success. You can look at every single biography of any successful person, and minus the very few that were given their success, most of them worked on one thing for years. Now, if you look at biographies on Wikipedia, what you'll see there is stuff like, oh, he started playing piano at age 6, and then at age 14 he went to his first concert, and then at age 21 he got accepted into musical school, and at age 28 he performed his first real concert and really broke through, and life changed or whatever, and then it goes much deeper. In that example, that means that this person played the piano for 22 years. For 22 years before they reach success. Most biographies just breeze through that in a couple sentences, at least on Wikipedia. But that's the core part. It's the consistent effort, day by day by day by day, that makes you reach success. And I know you've heard this before. But when I send out messages to people in Quora, when I try to help, give a little bit more help on a one-to-one basis, I get so many people that are stuck in situations that I've answered questions on a dozen times at least, and they've just never applied anything. If you're looking at this video, if you're watching this for whatever reason, it means you are at some point interested in self-improvement. You are interested in making your life better. You're here for a reason. You didn't just stumble upon this. You had something that got you here, which means you know a lot already. This is not going to be your first video. This is not going to be the first time you hear this. But that's the core. You pick one thing and you work through it with that. You apply that as much as you can. if you look at some of my earliest answers on Quora from 2016, 2015, I kept some of those. I usually edit most of them, but I do keep some of those around. Um, you will see I was not a very good writer. The content is not very well polished. It's messy. I still wouldn't consider myself one of the best writers, but I've written so much that I eventually broke through the noise. For me, it took, I let me lie here and say, it took about 800 to 1,000 posts. Because I had a year of writing one post every day, and then 6 months of writing posts 3 days, 3 posts a day, before I had one post that reached over, I think it was over 500,000 views. Before then, I had a total of about 20 to 50,000 views. And then that one post broke me through, and I guarantee you it was not one of the best posts I've ever written. I don't, to this day, I guess I kind of understand why it broke through, but I wish it would have been a different post. But anyway, at that point, that's 1,000 posts. Now, if you have a 1% chance of any post, hypothetically speaking, to become viral, that means I've had a very good chance with 1,000 posts to reach that stage, to break through. There's always going to be a magic number at which it's not luck anymore. That's what I'm trying to say with this. At which point you kind of deserve the victory, and at which point you're not surprised anymore. You just say, finally. It's been a long time coming. I've worked really hard for this. Of course I got this now. Of course it's still a little luck, but it won't feel like that, and that's the point you want to reach. You want to reach the point where you're grinding out so much more than the average person that it doesn't feel like it's anything surprising anymore. But for that, you have to commit yourself to one thing and really grind it out. It's, it's in essence, it's super simple. If you want to be fitter, you work out. You do it every day. If you want to increase your cardio, you go jogging every day. You're not gonna get good cardio within a month or within 2 months. It might take you a year or a couple of years, maybe even. But after a while, you will have way more cardio than other people. You'll be way stronger than other people. It's just about the consistency of it. So what I want to say with this video here today is that I want you to think about, if you're taking this seriously, I want you to sit down and think about what is one thing that would really improve your life. What is one thing that you can commit to every day? And you don't have to do an hour or 2 or 4 or 6. Do as much as you can, but commit yourself to, let's say, at least 30 minutes. 30 minutes is not a lot. You can squeeze that out of any day, really. Even if that means you go to bed half an hour later, it's not going to make the biggest of differences. 30 minutes a day. It's not a big ask. But you pick that skill up or that habit or whatever it is that you want to do, and you work on it for 30 minutes every single day. And you just try this for a year. Just a year. I know. But just commit to it for 365 days. Not to get anything out of it. That's important. Don't be result oriented when you're doing this. The results will come, probably will take longer than that. Maybe it'll be shorter, it doesn't matter. You're not doing this to get anything. You're doing this at this point just to get into the habit of sticking with something. That's it. Prove to yourself that you can do it. Pick one thing, commit to it for 365 days, do it for 30 minutes every single day, and then if you want to add some other stuff as you get used to it, by all means go for it. If you want to do more, no one's going to stop you doing that. But that thing is a must every single day. If you miss a day, which will happen eventually, reset. Not the day number. You can continue on the day number, but just keep going. Don't focus on it. It happens. Everyone messes up. When I first started writing, I wrote a blog post on WordPress every single day for 365 days. That was my goal. I did not manage every single day. I think I missed, I don't know, 20 days in the year? Maybe. But that's okay. Again, it didn't matter. I just wanted to prove to myself that I could stick through with something. And even though I missed a little bit, I still felt amazing afterwards. And then I continued it on when I switched to Quora afterwards. So please, I know you learn a lot in self improvement. I know you've listened to stuff like this all the time. I know you've had personal development blogs and you listen to motivational speeches and what have you. You already know enough. You don't need to consume more content. And me saying this is not a good idea because my business is reliant on you guys reading, and I'm very grateful for that. So, me telling you to stop doing that should show you how much this means. You don't need to consume more content. You need to start acting on something and doing something. I've had a client that I had for 3 years that went to every single Tony Robbins seminar, that read every single personal development book and just kept reading and reading and reading, consuming. And meanwhile, on the sidelines, his life was falling apart because he didn't do anything. But he felt good enough just, getting the content and then yay, have the little victory, but it didn't make a difference. What matters is what you do at the end of the day. Now that client eventually got a job change, got hired at 5 positions higher. He still works at Facebook now, and his life is much more organized than it was before, but that's only when he started actually sitting down and doing something for it. I remember when we worked on this, he actually sat down for 6 months to prepare for the interview. And every single day he would go for interview, look at interview questions, practice them, and I think once a week he was meeting with someone specifically to have a good interview. And that's what got him hired. I think it was 3 positions, maybe it was 5 positions higher than he even applied for, and then that he got interviewed for. You can make a difference, but you have to work on it. So, today, sit yourself down and ask yourself, what is one thing that you could do on a daily basis that would really change your life? Just one thing. And then commit to that. Make it easy for yourself. Don't commit to something really, really big. Right? Make it simple. Start off small. Give yourself the time to grow into it. You're a white belt in this. This is your first day. Don't expect yourself to be a master at this already. Even if you've done it previously, it doesn't matter. You're starting over, completely fresh. Pick one thing, do it every day. If you want, let's say, after 2 weeks of doing it consistently without missing a day, you may add a second thing. That's my guideline. That's my rule of thumb. Obviously, I can't control that, but that's my advice because it's this daily thing that will make such a big difference. I recently had a call with someone that did not end up being a client, but we talked 4 years ago, and I gave her the same advice. She didn't take it. On our second call, 4 years later, I gave her the same advice once more. And we talked it through, and she said, had I just done 5 minutes a day for 4 years since we last talked, it would have made a world of a difference. And I think that's very true. So please take this to heart. This is probably the best advice I can give you right off the bat. This is probably the biggest thing that you can do, is doing something. I hope you do. I hope you do me this favor and you take the time today to pick something, and then you do yourself the favor and you run with it for as long as you can. It will make a big difference. Okay. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next video.